Hello and welcome to the first ever all-female edition of Hardest Part of the Ring, the podcast where four friends get together to discuss the wonder of professional wrestling. I'm Hannah, and today I'm joined by Lana.
Hello.
By Lucy.
Hello.
And by Maddie.
Hi.
Everyone excited?
Yeah, really excited.
I'm psyched.
Finally, people who know what they are talking about.
What are you doing?
That is the hardest part of that ring. For the hardest part of the ring. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the hardest part of the ring.
Hello and welcome to episode number 47 of Hardest Part of the Ring, the podcast where four friends get together to discuss the wonder of professional wrestling. And may I start off by apologising for the start of this podcast. I think our other halves got a bit carried away with this whole evolution thing.
Well, they'll probably do a better job than we will.
Other halves.
Yeah.
And sister. Other halves and sister. Come on,
Sister, so sorry. Definitely just Sam's sister.
Let's not spread those rumours round. Those are bad rumours.
Yeah. I think I had to stop Lucy because otherwise you'd just want her on instead of me.
Oh, maybe we do want to hear more from Lucy.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you. In all seriousness, thank you to them for getting involved. Hello, I am Adam, and we are here, as always, with Sam.
Salute.
With John.
Hello.
And with Brett.
Greetings.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
That's very
good.
sinister. Well, it's
He's upped his game.
Halloween tomorrow.
Oh,
It is Halloween tomorrow.
very
Brett
true.
and Vincent Price all in the same house.
Yes, that's what I was going for as well.
Oh, nailed it.
Sam, was your salute a reference to the Little Mix theme for Evolution?
Salute.
Mate, it's so catchy. Attention. Salute.
Okay, well, this podcast is obviously going to be our WWE Evolution 2018 review. The last episode was a Hardest Part of the Ring rewind, where we look back at where we look back at WrestleMania 8. So please do go back and have a listen to that if you haven't already. But for now, we're going to talk about Evolution after this.
That is the hardest part of the ring. All of the metal hardware underneath that ring apron. What an impact.
Right then, WWE Evolution 2018. We're going to talk about the whole pay-per-view, obviously. But before we do, obviously the pay-per-view featured the final of this year's Mae Young Classic. So we thought we'd have a little chat about the tournament that led up to that. We're going to talk about our standout competitors and anything that we particularly enjoyed. So, Brett, did you enjoy it? Have you watched all of it?
I have. And can I just gloat now because my straight off the bat pick to win won.
Yeah,
well done, Brett.
That's
Get
true.
in there. I'm just going to gloat now. Told you so.
Nice. Sam, you picked Mia Yim, right?
I did, yeah. I thought Mia Yim might have a run to the final.
Her match
didn't happen.
with Kathleen was one of the best matches, I thought.
Kathleen?
Kathleen? Was it?
Caitlin.
There we go.
Just
I
some
was
lady
racking
called Kathleen.
my brain for the competitor called Kathleen, and I was like, I know my brain is terrible at holding information.
I keep thinking Caitlin looks like Jessica Jones.
She does, very much so. Yeah.
I'm still laughing about the idea of a wrestler called Kathleen.
A blazing baddie just beating up women called Kathleen in the street.
Come on, Kathleen.
I think it could work. It's a good gimmick.
The Mae Young Classic. I thought generally the standard was really high, wasn't it?
The quality of this tournament was so much higher than last year's. It was a fantastic tournament from beginning to end.
It was great watching. And even with like Casey Catanzaro, she's like definitely one to watch because you know from being really sort of new to wrestling, again someone else who's just taken to it and seems to be innovating from the get-go.
I mean, we're not going to obviously talk about individual matches, bits and pieces, but we should probably mention that insane round the world DDT. Just literally, it was like a squirrel.
It was
in a cartoon. It was incredible,
running around the tree trunk.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that a lot.
I've just realised. Sorry, I have to cut in with this breaking news, which is breaking news to me. Casey Catanzaro. Do you remember last year when we talked about the fact that Kairi Sane is only 5'1", and so was the shortest competitor in the whole of WWE. Casey is 4'9".
She's very small.
Are women wrestlers getting smaller? Asking the real hard-hitting questions here on Hardest Part of the Ring.
They put her against two tall people as well in two of her matches, didn't they?
Yeah.
Two giants.
I was going to say that Io Shirai looked smaller than Kairi Sane, and I'd researched that before this, that she's also 5'1", but I've literally just found out that Casey is 4'9", so amazing. That's crazy.
That is incredible. That's good facts.
Anyway, sorry, I interrupted you, Sam.
No, that's fine. I was going to say, I really actually enjoyed Deonna Purrazzo in this tournament. I thought she was very good. I'd seen her on NXT a few years ago when she was kind of in that position of doing like matches here and there. I thought, okay, yeah, she's all right. I think kind of her new virtuoso persona is really good. I was very impressed by her.
Yeah, totally. But can we all agree that Maiko Satomura is our new favourite wrestler? I mean, I'm sure some of you were aware of her before, but
she had a great tournament, didn't she?
Yeah, every match.
Boy.
God.
And like that match versus Martinez, contender for a match of the year. It was so good.
Definitely. Yeah.
Only topped by, I think, her match with Toni Storm.
I don't know. I think I preferred the Martinez one, actually.
I did as well.
I think they were both very good.
But the solid matches, really great.
I love the idea of any wrestler being called the Final Boss. That's such a good name.
Yes, it is awesome.
She's got so many sort of moves that are pretty unique, like things that you never see or I'd never seen before. She's got her roundhouse, the axe kicks, the Death Valley bombs, that cartwheel knee drop thing.
Yeah.
From one side of the ring to the other, which looks painful. Like you can't land that without it hurting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Toni Storm looked beat up after their match, didn't she?
Yeah.
She really did.
Yeah, she did.
She does look pretty
It was
stiff.
interesting. They obviously filmed the semis on the same day as the quarters. I mean, I think it was all filmed pretty tight because she had that blood on her jawline, didn't she? And then she came out for her semi and it was still there, and then she had all the chop marks on her chest.
Yeah, it looked rough.
Yeah.
I thought kind of obviously Rhea Ripley as well, kind of what a transformation from last year to this year. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not sure I like her as a heel, though.
I think it works to her wrestling.
I did.
Yeah.
I think what I really actually enjoyed was, I think it must have been very difficult to have been in that Tegan Nox match and keep character. And I think she did a really good job of that, of like when the referee stopped it, her just being like, well, easy win for me.
Yeah.
And yeah, kind of a lot of credit for that, I think.
I think she's a brilliant heel because did you see on Evolution when they had all the four wrestlers at ringside? Yeah, the slow clap. And I think she's rivaling Pete Dunne with her shoulder shrugs and grimacing.
Yes.
Oh, that's a good shout, actually.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And she sells well. And she's only 22.
Yeah, she's crazy
like
young.
Toni Storm.
All these bloody kids kicking ass and wrestling.
I know. Ridiculous. Anyone else stand out for you guys? Or we probably covered the big ones?
No, it's all been good. I've actually watched the whole thing with my wife. This is my gateway into wrestling for her.
Nice. What did she think?
I think she's really enjoyed it. We still have to watch the quarters and the semis.
So you kind of know who got to the final.
Yeah,
then,
I don't really mind.
This conversation's been a lot of fun for you.
Yeah. Did you see that apparently, it could well just be a rumour, but they had planned all along for the final to be Tegan Nox versus Toni Storm.
Oh.
Really?
Which obviously a bit weird because they're both faces.
Yeah.
But I think there is some truth in that. But then there was also another rumour going around, which may not have much truth to it at all, that originally they were going to put the NXT UK women's title up for grabs for the winner.
Right.
Which is why they were going to have those guys. And obviously Nox
I think
got injured.
they made a good choice not doing that.
Yeah,
kind of
we've been
keeping
missing
it as a tournament, as its own thing, works really well.
Yeah,
definitely. Okay, well, it's in a way a bit of a shame that the Mae Young Classic was so good this year, and they put so much great work into it. A bit of a shame that the build to Evolution was so poor. I don't know if it's worth focusing on that, because actually I think we'll agree that the pay-per-view was pretty good.
It's great.
Yeah, very good.
It was.
WWE are doing a current one good pay-per-view, one bad pay-per-view strategy. So.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's actually focus on Evolution now.
Back of the neck of Charlotte into the hardest part of the ring, courtesy of Carmella.
Give it to Carmella, wisely using the ring to her advantage.
WWE Evolution 2018, I've said 2018 because no doubt they'll repeat it next year, I hope they do, occurred at the Nassau Veterans Memorial Coliseum in New York.
So this is my favourite part of the podcast. You're going to give us an arena fact.
Nope. I said I'd do that for all the rewinds. I thought about it, but we've got a lot
I've been getting so excited for this all week.
Sorry, Sam.
No,
You'll have to wait. Attendance of 10,900, so not quite as big as the standard pay-per-view arenas, but I think it felt kind of good for it, didn't it?
Yeah, the crowd was great as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
Apart from one person in the crowd who I want to call out now.
Okay.
On the ramp, one guy with a sign saying, "Winner goes back to Soma's place." Now,
yes.
Who the fuck brings that sign to like the first ever all-women's pay-per-view?
Soma.
I don't understand what that sign means.
I'm assuming he is Soma, and I don't know.
He was holding it out. Well,
Yeah.
I don't know if he was holding it for every match, but I noticed it during the Becky-Charlotte match.
I noticed it during the Battle Royale, and I was just like, that's just like, what kind of dick brings that to this pay-per-view? Like,
I thought how good it would have been if Becky, when she walked past, had just grabbed it and torn it up.
just like,
and maybe punched him in the face.
It's probably the same one of the same guys that was sort of chanting "what" when Roman was doing his leukemia speech.
Yeah.
Dickhead. Yeah. Sorry. Rest of the crowd were really good.
Yeah, it's a great crowd. Hot.
Yeah, agreed. The card, there was a dark match. Now, did you guys hear about this?
No, I heard there's a pre-show as well. I didn't know there was a pre-show.
So I skipped through the pre-show.
Oh, of course. Oh, Brett, you're pre-show Jones.
But
Pre-show
it said
Jones.
there was a match. I didn't watch the whole pre-show. I usually skip until I find the match and then watch that. But I didn't find it. So I don't know if there was one there.
Could you imagine being told, like, hey, you're on the first ever women's pay-per-view, or women's pay-per-view. Oh, finally breaking out of that pre-show mould. Oh, well, hold on there.
Who could it have been? I think they used the entire roster.
According to Wikipedia, it was a dark match. So I think that pre-show was just all of the women going how great this is and all that stuff, which and so they should and all that. God, I didn't sound very convincing then. But I honestly do. I do think this is a good thing. I'm just not a fan of pre-shows. The dark match, it contains a bit of a spoiler when it comes to NXT UK, but I'm just going to say it because we have to, and it's NXT. It's their fault for the way that we're
consummate professionals.
Basically, it was an NXT UK Women's Championship match where Rhea Ripley defeated Dakota Kai to retain the title.
Oh no, I did see something about that.
Oh, sounds like a good match.
Yeah.
So that's great, yeah, but I mean, I guess that's why they had to make it a dark match because we haven't seen the women's champion crowned yet.
Yeah, chances are because NXT UK is pre-recorded, they might find a way of basically putting it into NXT UK kind of episode or something similar to what they do with the current NXT.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, I mean, it's probably coming up in a few weeks. I think they've had a tournament for the NXT UK Women's Championship, and obviously Rhea won it. And I'm sorry, I should have said spoilers to the listeners, but
I think you did, didn't you? Kind of. It's implied.
Well, kind of.
Yeah.
If not, I mean, send your emails to adam@hotmail.com.
If only I had that address. adam@hotmail.com. That'd be amazing. Anyway, the rest of the card, the proper card, we started with a tag team match, Trish Stratus and Lita versus Alicia Fox and Mickie James. Then we had the 20-woman Battle Royale. Toni Storm versus Io Shirai in the NYC final. Sasha Banks, Bayley and Natalia versus the Riot Squad. Shayna Baszler versus Kairi Sane for the NXT Women's Championship. Becky Lynch versus Charlotte Flair for the SmackDown Women's Championship. And Ronda Rousey versus Nikki Bella for the Raw Women's Championship. Pretty great looking card, actually.
Yeah.
They've sort of stacked it really well by having the sort of Trish and Lita match and the Battle Royale first, I think. Because then the rest of the card was just killer.
Yeah.
Totally. So we're going to review it. We're going to talk about the key matches, the best of the rest, the worst of the rest. We're going to pick a star performer and then we're going to give it a rank out of 10. So we'll start off with the key matches. And I think we've got to start with Charlotte Flair versus Becky Lynch.
What a match.
Oh boy.
This was a last woman standing match, the first ever last woman standing match. But it was essentially a TLC match, wasn't it?
It's funny, actually, because I was trying to work out, is Becky a heel? Is she a face? Then she pushed over that ladder that miraculously just landed standing upright, and I was like, she's a heel. She's definitely a heel.
That was an amazing moment. But yeah, wow. I loved this.
Becky Lynch is flying at the moment. We've always known Charlotte is top tier, but Becky has massively come into her own in this last year. And this was very much a lot of the culmination of that, and it was fantastic to see.
Yeah, I think Becky's the best thing in wrestling at the moment.
I think she's a really good women's wrestler.
Don't you think she's just a good wrestler, Sam?
I'm sorry. Yeah,
Come on.
No, absolutely. I'm fucking sexist Sam here. Yeah, I tell you what, seeing her go over clean as well, awesome. Yeah, it felt, really good for her.
Felt like a massive win, didn't it? This sort of beating Charlotte. And when Charlotte felt like she would not go down, when she sort of emerged from all those chairs, like the Terminator, it just felt like Charlotte was going to eventually win this. She was not going to let this go.
Yeah.
But for Becky to win, win clean, it's huge.
I really like the finish as well with the power bomb and Charlotte almost making it up, but not quite. It felt really kind of. It's unusual, I think, to see in a last person standing. Yeah, last person. Let's make that gender neutral.
Let's go through it slightly chronologically because it was such a great match. It was 28 minutes 40 seconds. There's a lot that happened. I feel like I could talk about it for 28 minutes 40 seconds. Just do it play by play if you want. Should I do that? But it had such a big match feel, didn't it? Just when they both came out, I just thought, I'm so up for this. Surely they're going to deliver. And they did. They really did. Brett, what did you think?
No, I enjoyed it. My enjoyment of the match built as the match built itself because, I'm a broken record. I think these matches are good for moments and not good for flow of a wrestling match. Like for me, they're always a bit more staccato, but the moments are usually quite big because they involve, tables or leg drops from ladders. But definitely, I think Charlotte, to me, had the better moments in the match. I think Becky's a great character, but I still prefer some of the other wrestlers. And what's Charlotte's swanton onto the table, I know it was like a second attempt because the moonsault didn't go through, but that swanton was great. I don't think I've seen that before.
Good choice for her to do that as well, rather than trying the moonsault again. That would have been a kind of a misstep in this match, and I think kind of doing that was a savvy
definitely.
Move.
And then that figure 4 into the figure 8 through the ladder,
I didn't quite get that.
No,
it was great.
I loved that
because it was the metal of the ladder all intertwined with legs just getting mashed, and she totally sold it. Tap in on the ladder as well. So I thought that was a great moment.
I actually felt like that moonsault. The missed moonsault was the only thing that didn't really go to plan for me. And I know, the ladder, there was a couple of little bits with that ladder that was a little bit slow to get it set up. But the thing is, they had all these amazing moments, as you say, and all these big spots and things like that. But in between that, they were beating the shit out of each other, I thought.
Yeah.
The stuff where they went into the crowd, the chops. When Becky grabbed the belt and walked off, and then Charlotte came out and they were chopping each other, they were just going so hard. It was brilliant. It was brutal.
I thought the match was really good. I thought the match was good, but at that point when they went into the arena and started chopping each other, I just thought it really increased the intensity and the violence. And they were sort of screaming at each other, and they were looking physically exhausted and battered. It's just such a great battle, this match. It was amazing.
Yeah. And so good to just be able to see these two women have this kind of match, because they'd never be afforded this kind of time on the weekly shows, but on any other pay-per-view they just get their 15-minute women's match.
I mean, I think that's kind of the best thing about this, is it had strong NXT vibes in I mean that in the most positive way, kind of being given the time and the location to just go out there and do a fucking amazing job.
Totally agree. That's a point I was going to make on the whole pay-per-view as a whole, is it definitely felt a bit like a takeover.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, it really did.
Yeah. And even because, the lighting, they had the crowd quite dark as well, didn't they? So
all
the
I
focus was on the ring. And then the main matches just really delivered.
It'd be interesting to see how involved Vince was with this pay-per-view, whether it was just Steph and Triple H.
It had Triple H written all over it, I think.
Yeah. I don't think Vince was involved at all. I think Vince is in Saudi Arabia already.
Yeah, with Hogan.
I can imagine Vince sitting there coming up with a lot of kind of like, oh, how about we put strippers in or something? And everyone's been like, oh, Vince, no, stop. Just go. Do you know what? Here's a plane ticket to Saudi. Go.
Yeah, go now. Go now. I did make one note when they were doing the bit at the start when they got the chairs out and they were taking it in turns to chuck chairs in. There were loads, weren't there? And I wrote, I don't know why I'm highlighting this, but I'm going to go through with it anyway. I wrote, is this Charlotte Chair versus Decky Chair Lynch?
Oh my days!
Okay.
That's right. Sure we can cut that out in the edit, Adam. That's fine.
Yeah, let's put a stick in there.
You're leaving that in.
I might put a massive load of like fake laughter.
He has to live and die.
Or
by
go
that
back
joke.
and cut a load of laughter, your old laughter from other pods. Okay.
Oh,
I've just killed the pod.
You have.
Great match.
Charlotte Flair is pretty fucking good, actually.
No, Charlotte Chair, mate.
Oh. I just made up a
Sam's version of your joke, but in his head, was better to him than your joke.
Charlotte Flair.
Yeah, because it's like...
Flair.
Yeah.
Anyway. Would you say that these guys have the potential to be the new Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great...
I think this match is better than any Kevin Owens Sami Zayn match I've seen.
In terms of the feud and the fact that they're probably going to flip between being best mates and sworn enemies.
Oh, I kind of hope you're probably right, but I kind of hope this is the end of this feud.
Yeah, me too.
I think it is for now.
Inextricably link Becky Lynch to Sami Zayn because they both have red hair and both have the most catchy entrance music.
Weren't they in the mixed tag last year together?
They were.
I think they
mixed
were.
match.
Yeah. I saw a tweet from Sami where he was, wishing luck to Becky, hoping that she wins.
Yeah.
Okay.
What a great match.
Yeah. I've got so many notes about this.
Yeah,
this
I've got an entire page.
Gone straight into my
I was
match of the year.
off my
contender.
feet when she actually won. I was literally out of my chair.
And God, like John, when you mentioned the bit where she came out of the chairs and Cole went, "Charlotte has risen." I was just like, oh my God, this is like a religious experience for me. It was so good. I genuinely got goosebumps then.
I love the idea of you going around people's houses and being like, "Can I tell you about my Lord and Saviour, Charlotte Flair?"
Yeah.
Have you heard the good word?
Anyway. Yeah. I'd go back to Brett for some more comments, but I don't want him to put a downer on it, so...
No, you can...
can move on.
Do you know what, actually? One more point I would make about this match, kind of where it came in the running order, perhaps like kind of Shayna Baszler, Kairi Sane before that, but I had a slight criticism of the whole event up to that point where I was like, this is a really good event, there's lots of good wrestling, but it is a little bit kind of like a kind of circle jerk, kind of like everyone being best friends with each other, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Then Shayna Baszler, Kairi Sane, Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair happened, and it was a little bit like, oh, okay, no, cool, real feuding, real kind of, really buying that, and I thought that was great.
Yeah. Yeah. Agree. I loved that match. And then do you see right at the end of that match, they decided to run a little Crown Jewel ad. And
did you hear the
crowd
boos?
booed.
Yeah.
I didn't hear that, but that's really funny.
Biggest heel of the pay-per-view.
Yeah, and did you see Renee's face? Like when Cole was talking about it, Renee looked very stern. Like I got the impression that she was purposefully trying to convey to the audience that she was not happy about this. You know, without actually, looking angry or sad, but she looked stern. It was funny. Next key match, should we do Ronda Rousey versus Nikki Bella, which was the main event?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I tell you what, so this is perhaps a controversial opinion. I think Nikki Bella is a really, really good wrestler, and I like her gimmick.
I think we give her a hard time because she's Bella, but I think she's a good worker.
I think she plays the character. That's the thing. Like, she plays the character of everything that this pay-per-view was almost meant to represent that they're moving away from. Yeah. But it's like, you can't have like the heroic American without the evil Russian kind of deal. And she's essentially just playing a variation of that. She's playing up to the I'm a diva kind of thing. And I think, to have a good face, you need a great heel, and she did that really well.
Yeah, she's playing the same character she did when she was a face, though, like 7 years ago. It's just that times have changed and she has.
But it works as a heel.
I think that's the thing. Is
it definitely works as a heel.
I don't think it works as a face at all.
No.
Well, yeah, not anymore.
Kind of certainly. When these guys, when both Nikki and Brie are both playing heels, and they are playing the kind of almost the stereotypical kind of cheerleader from an American high school sort of characters. I think that's a really strong character. It's not kind of like the culture of women's wrestling anymore, and so it's not all of a sudden just like here's some hyped up porn stars who are wrestlers. It's now literally, hey, these are their characters.
Yeah,
and I like it a lot. I think it works really well, and I think it kind of, that aside, her actual wrestling, a lot of her moveset is really good.
I thought this was the best wrestling I've seen from Nikki Bella, like, ever in this match. There was definitely stuff I've seen that I've not really seen her do before, but then again, that probably comes back to time constraints on matches and the sort of matches that get booked. It's like, the NXT match bookings against the main roster bookings, they're not allowed to show their creativity, so maybe we do give her a hard time. Like Ronda again, selling like a champ in this, and that Raw when she first stepped out from the crowd, that was pretty amazing, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was really good.
I mean, the Bellas are pretty damn popular as well. I mean, there were times when they had 50-50 chance for Nikki and Ronda.
I think the good thing about the Bellas is I think they probably do bring a lot of eyes to the product that wouldn't necessarily watch it. Like Total Divas is very popular.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people would be interested in this match because of Total Divas.
Yeah,
it's only a matter of time until I watch Total Divas.
What will come first? Are you watching Total Divas or Ronda Rousey appearing on Total Divas?
John watching it.
I'm likely to start watching it in the next week or two.
You could be our correspondent. Are you going to go back all the way to the start? Or are you going to just go straight in now?
No. I want the whole story. I want the back character development.
John, I'll watch this with you. Can we make a spin-off pod for Total Divas?
What would it be called?
Call it?
Total Dickheads. That's harsh.
Part of the Divas.
That's probably accurate.
Began with a D. Hardest part of the Divas. Not sure about that. Okay, listeners, if you have an idea for the spin-off name, then please do get in touch because we've got nothing right now. What I did like about this is that the fact that Brie was there, and obviously she was always going to be there, but it meant that there was actually some credibility. Like the only way that Nikki would actually have a chance against Ronda was the fact that Brie was there and able to help, and everything that Brie did worked well.
That's a really good point, actually. I think kind of they played the whole twin game really well there, and a lot of those shots that Ronda took in the turnbuckle, they were nasty. Looked really painful.
She did well with those. I agree. Because if it was just 1-on-1 Nikki versus Ronda, then after what Ronda did to Alexa, you'd be like, well, not Alexa's better than Nikki. So
there was one misstep, I would say, in this match, which was that Samoan drop, the twin one, with Brie Bella basically just deciding to climb on top of that whole thing.
That's what's always a bit weird, aren't they?
I mean, if you can forgive that moment where she's climbing on top, it looked great when she moved out to the ring with both of them on there.
Sure. I
agree.
I don't know.
But they always have to climb on with those,
It's just
the setup.
When they're in rehearsal, why is that like a kind of... Did that look okay?
I know.
It took you 5 minutes to climb on. But
it's like, right, first I need to get my leg over the top rope, so I need to climb over that and then up onto you.
Reminded me of the Jamaican bobsled team the first time they took that sled down the ice.
But I mean, look at the size of Ronda Rousey holding both of them on her shoulders before doing that move.
them.
That was impressive.
It was cool. I love Ronda Rousey's small package bomb off the top rope.
That was amazing, wasn't it?
So cool.
It looked a bit nasty, I thought, but in a good way, not in a wrong way, but oh wow, that looked painful.
I think that's part of her appeal, that some of her stuff does look a bit rough around the edges, but it kind of adds to the realism a little bit.
Yeah,
and she brings new stuff that I haven't seen before. Whether it's new, I don't know, but she's bringing stuff in, obviously, from
legit moves
and
actual moves, proper self-defense.
And those judo throws look
Oh, they look amazing, don't they? They look amazing.
So cool.
They look like they should dislocate your shoulder when you get chucked over. They look
get proper ragdoll on them, don't they?
Yeah, totally.
I love the moment where Ronda went to do a crossbody from the top turnbuckle and totally missed, but like she looked like she went across the whole ring for that crossbody. It was amazing.
Yeah,
I also really enjoyed the baseball slide and the dodge. I thought that was done with a lot of precision timing. That went really well.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this match for the the spots that were in it, but also the, like you said, the heel sort of work from the Bellas, and then the face work from Ronda. It was really good.
I think kind of what I like about this match a lot is just the fact that it felt like a real massive culmination of here is women's wrestling versus here is divas wrestling, and both wrestlers played the parts so well, like kind of playing up to their respective kind of, I suppose, era in wrestling, and it felt like a super match because of that.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it was a really nice finish, and obviously nice at the end with Ronda sort of being greeted by all of the women involved in the day, and then having that little pose at the end. Let's move on then to the third key match we picked out, which is the final of the Mae Young Classic, Io Shirai versus Toni Storm. John, what did you think of this match?
This was a solid match. I really love the sort of stuff at the beginning with the headlocks. There's some great killer moves. Like Io Shirai can do a moonsault. She can really do a moonsault. And there's also the German on the apron looked brutal. And the sort of final move, like the moonsault onto Storm's knees, looked like Io Shirai completely wiped out. That looked so horrifically painful.
Yeah.
I sort of wish this match had a little bit more time.
Yeah, that was my one criticism of it. It just felt a bit short.
Yeah,
it did.
Well, I mean, a good point that I read earlier is that if a lot of that crowd may not have even watched any of the Mae Young Classic. So, if they're the type they just watch SmackDown and Raw. Yeah, they don't know who these people are.
It did feel a bit flat for this, I thought.
Actually, there's
a lot of Aussie chants.
Yeah, I felt like it built, though. The crowd did get into it once they saw the talent, but perhaps that's why they didn't give them too much time to play with, because maybe people would just want to see the wrestlers that they know. But yeah, it was a good match, though, really good.
Yeah, they definitely got in a great match. I mean, it's nice, like, with this sort of final pairing, that you've got wrestlers that have, met a few times before, and there's a bit of chemistry between them, which I think is pretty nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
especially for your main final, it's good that that's there rather than people that perhaps haven't. And because like for the odd match in the Mae Young Classic, it felt that there wasn't enough chemistry between the performers, so it ended up being a little clunky. Not at any fault for either of the people, maybe, but just because they're language barriers and other things. But like I think these two, like they really hit each other and went at each other as well, because there's that history.
I remember watching a match of them wrestling back in Stardom, and it was kind of very similar. They obviously, these two know each other really well. One thing less than that was no pile drivers in this one. Lots of pile drivers in Stardom.
Yeah, not
oh
allowed.
My god, I went back and watched the title match in 2015 in Stardom, Shirai versus Satomura. It's like a 30-minute match, and they go all around the arena doing these mental things to each other.
Yeah, Stardom is crazy.
Yeah.
It's really good, but it's crazy.
Yeah, I'll have to watch some more. Although it looks like WWE have got most of their top talent now, although I'm sure there's some hidden gems we don't know about.
Do you reckon the WWE is ever going to loosen up on the pile driver issue?
No.
Because like they it happens in wrestling everywhere apart from WWE, and
unless you're the Undertaker,
not all these issues.
I just don't know how you make like a traditional spike pile driver. How do you make that safe? It's like chair shots to the head. Like, it's just one of those things. It's like, with the knowledge we have now, maybe let's not do this.
I think you have to say that if you're over 6'5", you can do a pile driver, because then when you're holding the person, you're not going to damage them.
I am so sick of your heightism, Adam.
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily talking to tombstone pile driver, like when they do the sit out one sort of thing. There's stuff that they do on the indie circuit that you can see they're not falling like directly, vertically on their head. There's that fall back, and it still looks great. It doesn't need to be like. I mean, I wouldn't want the Undertaker to do a pile driver on me now.
That's true. When I hear pile driver, I just think of the tombstone. So
I think the tombstone's fine, but the sit down one that looks really dangerous.
Yeah, I always cringe a little whenever I see it in the indies.
But whenever I see it, especially in camera, I think they fall a different way, and so I don't think it's a case of dropping on the head. I think they fall backwards. Are you talking
about a package pile driver?
No,
a spike one.
No, like a spike one.
Oh, fair enough.
I think there's I think I might be wrong, but it looks like they fall a slightly different way in it now, so it's not such a movement directly onto the neck.
I always think with pile drivers, if Owen Hart, one of the greatest of all time, can break Stone Cold's neck doing one, then no one should probably do one.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you on that.
Oh, maybe. They just look so great.
We'll keep them to the indies, then we get to see them, a few meters away.
But let's bring back the Muscle Buster.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Muscle Buster's all right, though. Tyson Kidd's still knocking around. He's fine.
Speaking of the indies, obviously Tony Storm is someone who we've all seen down at Riptide and Progress and things like that, and it's just so cool to see someone who we know so well and somebody who we have actually seen live win something like that, and see her hugging Triple H, and then at the end with the shot of all the women, she was right there in the middle. It's really cool. She's got
Tony Storm
big things ahead.
For me is best women's wrestler in the world at the moment. Yeah. I think she's fucking fantastic.
I agree. She's definitely like the complete package, and she's still, it's just like your Tyler Bates or your Pete Dunnes. Like, they're so rounded, and yet they're only like,
early 20s.
It's just obscene that they can be that
fantastic. Good. It's so good to see all these young wrestlers coming through who are obviously just such massive fans.
Yeah.
And now they're getting their chance to shine.
And you just like, what they're going to be like in, say, 4 years' time, or, when they get to those like late 20s, they hit the peak. They're going to be amazing.
Absolutely ruined, riddled with injuries.
Won't be able to walk.
It's going to be like,
constant
it's
headaches.
going to be like football. It's going to be like people like Wayne Rooney. Everyone's like, oh my God, look how young they are. They're going to be so amazing. And then by the time they get to 27, 28, they're crocked. And
she's going to be getting hair plugs.
Yeah, exactly. Sleeping with grannies.
Just one more thing back to this match, though. Can I just give a shout out to Io's palm strike uppercut move?
Good, isn't it?
It looks so good.
Yes.
I mean, if we're calling out Io's good moves as well, I love the Meteora. I'm a big fan of that. It's a good name.
Yeah.
It's a good move.
Yeah.
Big fan.
Agreed. Great match. Great couple of wrestlers, and two that we're going to see on NXT and NXT UK. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with them. That's the key matches done. Now we're going to talk about the best of the rest. So, Sam, have you got any other matches or moments?
Best match of the night actually for me was Kairi Sane versus Shayna Baszler.
Better than Becky Charlotte.
I thought this was actually the best match of the night. I thought it was fucking excellent.
Yeah, so we've got I agree with Sam there.
We've got 3 best matches of the night between the 4 of us. If
it was,
sorry, Brett. I thought you went for Ronda, Nikki, but you're agreeing you're going to go for Kairi.
Kairi and Shayna.
Well, go for it.
I feel like this match had a little bit of everything that you want in a solid match. It had great heel work, great face work. It had a really good ending as well. Shayna Baszler, every single time I see her wrestle, she comes on a little bit further and looks a little bit more kind of like the finished package.
She's so unique, isn't she?
Agreed.
It's like she hunts people down and destroys them.
She's a proper just bully in the ring, and no more so than when she put Kairi Sane in the arm lock over the top rope and just had her dangling there.
Yeah, that looked amazing.
Brutal.
And if you're going to do that with anyone, then do it with the tiniest person on the NXT roster. But
Casey Constanzaro, get out
that'd
here.
Be very easy.
Yeah, and then kind of the way this actually built into the interference from, oh God, I can't remember their names, Jessamine Duke and
Myra Shafir or something like that. Schaefer, Mary Schaefer.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Whoever they were. The other 2 women in the 4 horsewomen who were not Becky Lynch, who are not Ronda Rousey or
nailing it,
Shayna
Sam.
Baszler.
Nailing it.
I know, I'm smashing it here. We can just start this all again.
Let's restart the whole podcast.
The way they transitioned into the kind of moment with the other two horsewomen, it worked really well. I like the fact that they kind of dunked Shayna into the crowd and then they reacted from that, and it felt very natural.
Yeah,
it was a very cool ending to the match. I feel like the right person won it as well. It kind of builds story.
It's a shame because I think Kairi Sane is just awesome, and she, like, even though you would think Shayna should be the one that looks the stronger and should win, like, the fight that Kairi puts up in this match is so good, and she looks like, legitimately like she is going to be the winner before obviously interference. And not unjustly so.
Yeah, the way she sold that clutch at the end is some of the best selling I've ever seen. When they were holding up Shayna's hand, I was just half expecting the ref to be performing CPR on her. Like, I had a little problem.
I had a little problem with that because I agree. I was like, "That's great. She really does look as if she's knocked totally out of it." And then when Shayna let go, Sane sort of got up onto her knees and I was like, "No, you just need to stay completely limp." But I'm being picky.
One thing with with Kairi Sane, the gimmick, bit too much.
Yeah.
I'm all
coming
in.
out with the treasure chest.
Yeah.
Love it. Absolutely love it.
Same.
Wrestling is dumb. Be dumb.
I'm surprised she hasn't asked Shayna to gouge out one of her eyes so she can wear an eye patch.
Also, I think that was this new music for Kairi Sane.
Oh, was it?
I think it was different.
It was definitely different, and I loved it. It was epic.
I like
it was like an orchestral score.
I'm going to have to go back and re-listen to that now.
Yeah.
No, I love a stupid gimmick, especially when you can wrestle seriously with a stupid gimmick.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of like the sweet spot for me of basically, hey, this is fucking awesome.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. But did anyone else think that the fact... Well, later on in the pay-per-view, obviously you had the 4 horsewomen getting involved here, and we know that those 2 extra are going to be more prominent now. I was starting to think that the fact that they had Becky and Charlotte as the penultimate match, when I thought that would be the headliner, that potentially there might have been some horsewoman involvement in the final match.
Some shenanigans. That's weird because they're pitching Ronda as a face.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Clearly, the rest of the 4 horsewomen were being pitched as heels with that interference.
Yeah. I sort of think it's kind of something for them to have in the bank when they need it, like kind of eventually when Ronda turns heel or when they all get called up and turn face or something like that. Like they're kind of they've got that one ready to go when they need it. It's a little bit like how they've got most of the Bullet Club as part of wrestling now.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I agree. That was a good match. A really good match. Is there anything else that stood out? I think that's probably...
I just want to mention, I didn't necessarily think the match was that great, but the Riot Squad, I think, are killing it at the moment. They've sort of the New Day sort of camp where they've been given quite a crappy gimmick.
Yeah.
But they've just really sort of developed it and sort of made it their own. And I think they work really well together as like a little faction.
They are racking up the losses at the moment.
Yeah. They are the team that loses, aren't they? Like, you put those in to lose.
Yeah. But I
like them.
I love their quick tag sequences in this 6 match.
Yeah. The teamwork is amazing for those 3. Really good.
Looks great.
Especially because they were literally thrown together, like you said, and you thought, well, why are these 3 together? This makes no sense, having seen them on NXT. But now they are a
like
proper team.
Yeah,
proper
unified.
Unit. Yeah, totally. I actually thought, I agreed that match as a whole, I thought it was pretty enjoyable, particularly because of the sort of the tributes that they were doing, like the homage moves to the wrestlers that inspired them with... the frog splash, obviously, that Banks did in tribute to Guerrero. And then, we had the elbow drop, the macho one.
And the heart attack.
Yeah, I thought that was all really cool.
Funnily enough, I would actually say I thought that was the weakest match on the card, but...
No, I quite enjoyed it.
I still think it was really good.
It was good, but
it wasn't.
The way Bayley sacrificed herself was a bit weird. Like, she sort of crawled on like a little slug, didn't she?
That was super odd. There were 2 super awkward Bayley kind of just crawling over Sasha Banks, and then was it Sasha Banks diving over the top rope, or I don't quite understand.
She got a foot caught, didn't she? And then
and
they sort of caught her. The Riot Squad caught her and sort of slammed her into the barricade.
Yeah,
right.
I enjoyed it.
Just quickly as well, I'd like to kind of like give a good shout out for the Battle Royale, which could have very easily been a 5-minute squash, just like a, hey, here's all the women, now let's chuck them out of the ring. They turned that Battle Royale into a proper Battle Royale that lasted for a good amount of time, had some decent contenders in it. Just enjoyable.
Yeah. I agree. Can I add one more moment? It's a very brief one. Alicia Fox's Northern Light suplex.
It's fantastic, isn't it?
Yeah. It's perfect.
Yeah, it's the best in the world.
There you go. That's all I wanted to say.
Okay. Worst of the rest up next. I actually had the Battle Royale in my worst of the rest list. I agree that there was some really nice bits towards the end, but I mean, there were a couple of things. There was that weird Carmella and Ember Moon botch, but we can forgive a botch in a Battle Royale. But the usage of Asuka.
That is mine. That Asuka was booked in the Battle Royale, and then she doesn't even win it. I mean, you know,
I'm not with you guys on this. I kind of feel like Asuka has been messed around for ages because she had that win streak, but it was always going to come back and bite her. And I think kind of having her win the Battle Royale after winning the Rumble wouldn't have been...
I don't think she should have won it. She just was a total nothing in this match. She went out like halfway through.
I don't think she should have been in
completely. I think kind of it was a retaliation. Like kind of Asuka was the one who beat Ember Moon before finally coming up to the main roster. Like no one on NXT could beat Asuka. It was ridiculous. And this was kind of reconciliation for that. That was Ember Moon's reckoning at the fact that, hey, she just threw Asuka out of the ring. Like,
that's an interesting point.
When you look at Ember Moon after she throws her out of the ring, there's this moment of like, oh my god, I just eliminated Asuka. I could win this. Yeah, and
it felt like I eliminated Asuka without even really having to try, is how I felt.
No, I disagree. I'm going to have to go back and rewatch it, but I thought it was really cool. I thought Mandy Rose had a good showing in that match as well.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah, she did.
One last thing on that is I really enjoyed seeing Zelina Vega get chucked at Tamina.
Oh man, I think Tamina took like in the knee
as well, wasn't it?
Didn't she? Yeah.
Oh man, it's like Tamina's been absent for ages. She's had a surgery. Her dad's a murderer. What else happens?
Oh, I enjoyed the
just have Zelina Vega chucked at you.
The Tamina and Nia little tribute to Roman Reigns with the ooh-ah.
Yeah,
that was cool. Very nice. Any other bits that weren't particularly good? I mean, let's not spend too much time on this because it was very good.
I think it was all really good.
I literally, I enjoyed everything. I was just sad at Asuka being booked in the Battle Royale because I would have loved to seen her in a proper match. And Kairi losing because I think Kairi Sane is awesome.
Yeah. Okay. Next up is Star Performer, where we're each going to pick our number one VIP from the pay-per-view. Who's going to go first? Sam.
Oh, man. This is hard. This is really hard. I think, for me, it's going to be Shayna Baszler.
Oh, we could have 4 different picks here. Brett?
I'm gonna stay on my Ronda Rousey train because she brings in new stuff that I haven't seen before.
Why do you even ask, Brett? It's the same every week.
It is now. I love seeing stuff that I've not seen. It's amazing.
I actually thought you were going to go for Toni Storm just so you could point out that you picked her.
Glow a bit further.
Yeah, John.
It's got to be Becky Lynch. I haven't been this excited about a WWE performer in a long time.
Nice. And yeah, here we go. 4 different picks because I'm going to go for Charlotte because I thought she took some really big bumps. I thought she pulled off some great moves and she just came across as a total badass. And her facial expressions, when Charlotte was risen, the hair across her face and that facial expression, she is just the queen, as they say.
I'm going to try and watch that match again this weekend, I think.
Yeah, I'd love to watch it again. I really loved it. Like it's going to be up there as match of the year for me. Honestly, it was so good. Overall rank, this is going to be good. I think we're each going to give it a score out of 10 and then we're going to work out an average. I went first on the last one, so this time we will go for John.
8.5.
Yes. Sam?
9.
Ooh. Brett?
8.
Oh. And I am going to go for 8.5, which is an average of 8.5, right?
Yes. Faster than my calculator.
Well, luckily they were pretty easy numbers to add up and work out. So that is amazing. That is by far and away the most popular WWE pay-per-view that we've had since our records began only 6 or 7 pay-per-views ago. All In got an 8.6, so it's not quite up to All In standard, but bloody close. And very, very good. Are you there?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay. Yeah. Kind of, I think you summed it up really well.
You were on a roll.
Why interrupt the master?
You're absolutely right. Okay, I'm just going to take this home now, guys. You can log off. No, John, you can say some stuff. Are there any listener comments?
Yes, we have some listener comments. We've got Paul from 5 Nerds Go. He says, incredible show, over-delivered. Want another one next year, please. Standout match was Becky versus Charlotte. Oh, I love this next one. Standout performer, Mickie James. One of the most selfless performances to make others look good I've ever seen. I bloody love Mickie James.
We haven't even mentioned that first match, but yeah.
I know. We could go on.
She's such a tireless worker. She's so good. I was actually looking for a Mickie James t-shirt on the WWE shop yesterday.
Don't. That's dangerous games.
That's ridiculous.
Don't have one.
Mickie James's fashion is like cowboy rodeo.
Yeah,
like,
you get some
that.
flared jeans with some doilies on the bottom.
Love her with your eyes, not with your shirt.
If I was going to Riptide, I should have gone as Mickie James. That'd been great.
My life, that would have been amazing.
Anyway, what we should say, I know we didn't get to talk about that first match, but I think that's a good thing, isn't it? Because if you look down the card, you'd probably think, there could be some issues there. And it was okay.
It was okay.
Yeah, it was fun. But
did the job.
Yeah. Anyway, carry on. Sorry.
That's okay. Cole Lockhurst has also been in touch. He said, match of the night was definitely Becky versus Charlotte, but Riot Squad impressed me immensely, having never been overly enamoured with them before, except Liv Morgan. Yeah. I've come around to Liv Morgan in a big way recently. I think she's great.
I like Liv Morgan. Yeah. I like the kind of lie down and look at their face kind of when she does that thing.
The candy floss. The candy floss move.
Yeah, she does the candy floss.
Yeah.
She's copying candy floss for sure.
Anyway, Carl also says the Battle Royale was good, but a little lengthy.
Cool. I'm glad that it's not just me who thought the Battle Royale was good.
No.
Thanks for getting in touch, guys.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Now it's time for the hardest question of the week.
Question of the week.
Right, so yes, as we've had Evolution, I asked our Twitter followers to tell us who's the most underrated female wrestler in the world right now. And we got some quite interesting responses. Will Superkick said Shayna Baszler. Feel like although she's having great matches and feuds in NXT, she's not getting the props she should be getting. And then moments later, he tweeted to say, I'd like to add Dana Brooke to this list too, which set off something ridiculous because we then got Adore Dana Brooke with an extra name, hashtag Dana Brooke deserves better, who said, yep, Dana Brooke. Then we got at Dana Brooke fans 1 said easily Dana Brooke. And then somebody else called Chris Ray said, without a shadow of a doubt, Dana Brooke WWE is the most underrated and underappreciated female wrestler in WWE and the world right now. Not even up for debate.
Wow. Not even up for debate.
I found my people.
Then we got at a Dana Brooke fan said, Dana Brooke is a lot better than people give her credit for. She is very great women's wrestler and athlete. And have you noticed that Dana do not scream like others do? Then we got at Catherine Pertler who said agree, hashtag Team Dana. So that all went a bit mental.
Oh my god, this is awesome. So I'm really happy with this. I love Dana Brooke as well, and I don't know, like that would be my answer for this.
I think these are all your fake accounts that you've set up, Sam.
Yeah.
Man, we had Dastardly Duncan said always thought very highly of Madison Eagles whenever I've seen her matches. I hadn't heard of her. I googled her and she's an Australian wrestler. So you might have to check her out. Chris Atzis said Alicia Fox. And then our old friend, Heel Nick Payne, said, and I don't think he saw all the other stuff, but he said, I'll go with Dana Brooke. She looks fantastic at the moment, so much so she doesn't even look like herself, and she improves every time she gets in the ring. So Sonya Deville is another, but she's still new, I guess, so maybe in time.
Sonya's great.
Give Dana a chance.
Yeah.
Let's fly the flag for Dana.
Is Dana the new Rusev in the hardest part of the ring? Dana deserves better.
When she was in NXT, I used to go mental when she'd come out and do the flip. I loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Big fan.
She's finished her shift of her temping job that she was doing with Titus Worldwide, and she's back. She's getting back on it, which is good to see. Okay, next podcast. Most of you, I'm sure, will be expecting to download our Crown Jewel review next week. But we have decided as a group to take a bit of a stand and not discuss it, partly because it obviously will leave such a bad taste with everything that's been going on in the news and just the whole thing, but also because we don't really want to sit through 4 hours of it. We did obviously we reviewed the greatest Royal Rumble, but at the time it did seem like it might have been a one-off and there wasn't all the other political stuff going on. But yeah, well, we're not going to talk about it, are we?
Some of it was. It just wasn't that much in the news.
I can't believe that Braun Strowman's going to win the title and we're going to not talk about it.
Do you reckon? I reckon they're going to put on Braun. Not Braun, sorry, Brock. I reckon.
Do you know what? No. I don't care. No. Fuck them.
Yeah.
Fuck Crown Jewel.
Take that, Prince MBS.
We'll find out in 4 months if Brock turns up with the title. Like, oh, that's what happened to the
title. Yeah. It went missing. It's still vacant.
Don't get me wrong. I'm definitely going to watch that match. I'm not totally boycotting it. I don't know if you guys are.
Shame on you. No, I'm not watching it at all.
I see.
I've got to watch Braun bring it home. I've got to.
He's not. They're going to give it to Brock. He's a safe pair of hands in the situation. Give it to Brock.
They're just going to make you, they're going to give it to Brock and then you're going to feel really dirty.
Yeah, because you've watched it and your guy's lost.
Yeah.
Adam, have you said what we're doing in place of Crown Jewel?
Oh, yeah.
I haven't, and I will right now.
Okay.
Yeah, so instead of reviewing Crown Jewel, but kind of in tribute to it, we're going to do a top 5, and the topic is going to be top 5 bad taste moments in wrestling. Specifically WWE, because they deserve a bashing. So yeah, we're going to start looking through. This could be an interesting one because there might be some things that we don't really want to talk about.
Yeah, it's cool that we're doing WWE because there was that one time Mickie James was pushed in front of a train in TNA.
Oh, yeah. Don't bring that up. John will get upset.
Mickie James is definitely not making my list.
Yeah, so please do get in touch if there are any bad taste moments that you can remember. I'm sure there are bloody loads if you were watching during the Attitude Era.
This might be tough for Sam, this podcast.
Do you know what? Do you know the weird thing is that the Attitude Era, it was kind of tasteless. The real dark stuff was 2004, 2005, kind of after the Attitude Era when they were trying to recapture that magic.
Yeah.
Going more and more extreme.
Yeah, actually, I can't wait for this because I think we're all going to bring some interesting choices to the table. So, yeah, should be pretty X-rated as well. If people want to suggest some bad taste moments for us to include, Brett, how would they go about doing that?
Well, what they would do is they would email us to hardestpartofthering@gmail.com, or they will send us a social tweet or a Instagram message, or does anyone look at our Facebook?
Probably not.
Is anyone on Facebook anymore? Which is at Hardest Part Pod.
Good stuff. Thank you, Brett. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Thank you again to our other halves and sisters for getting involved at the start of the pod. See some of you down at Riptide on Friday. Sam and I and Brett will be there. And until then, it is goodbye from me, Adam. Goodbye from John.
Goodbye.
I'm mixing it up again. I don't know what's wrong with me. Oh. Sorry, I've done it to you again, Sam. Goodbye, Sam.
Goodbye.
And goodbye from Brett.
Goodbye.
Oh my God. That's the scariest part of the ring.
That is the hardest part of that ring.